the man who stole over $500 billion and got away with it. He was called the most dangerous man in America, not because he had guns, explosives, or led an army, not because he had any dangerous weapon, but because he outsmarted the world's best financial systems. By the time you reach the end of this video, you'll find out 1. Who Robert Vesco was and how he orchestrated one of the largest financial thefts in history. 2. How he evaded the FBI, SEC, and CIA for decades. 3. How he lived his life as a free man, while the world kept chasing his shadow. Let's dive in. Robert Lee Vesco was born in 1935 in Detroit, Michigan, the son of a hard-working factory worker. He wasn't born rich, but he was born curious. By his late 20s, Vesco had already made millions buying and flipping small companies, showing an uncanny ability to see hidden value where others saw failure. In the 1960s, when Wall Street was booming and offshore finance was a mysterious new playground, Vesco saw opportunity and a loophole big enough to drive a fortune through. Most thieves steal for need. Vesco stole for control. He believed the system was rigged, and he wanted to prove he could rig it better. By the early 1970s, Vesco had set his sights on a global investment empire, International Controls Corporation, ICC. With charm, persuasion, and ruthless ambition, he took over the company and began using it as his personal bank. But that was just the beginning. His true target? The mutual fund giant Investors Overseas Service, IOS, a labyrinth of offshore accounts and wealthy clients. Vesco saw it as the perfect instrument for the crime of the century. To steal on a scale never seen before, Vesco needed 3 things. 1. A legitimate front. 2. Global reach. And 3. A network of insiders who would look the other way. Through ICC and IOS, Vesco had all 3. He quietly shifted hundreds of millions of dollars between shell companies in the Bahamas, Panama, and Switzerland, each transfer appearing legitimate on paper but vanishing into secrecy. By the time regulators noticed, Vesco had already diverted over $224 million, worth over $500 billion today, adjusted for global inflation and market value. Vesco wasn't a hacker or an accountant. He convinced executives, politicians, and even governments that his schemes were innovative investments. His charm opened doors in Washington and Geneva alike. He made powerful friends, including U.S. Attorney General John Mitchell, and allegedly funneled bribes into President Nixon's campaign to stall investigations. He wasn't hiding from power, he was buying it. When the SEC finally charged him in 1972, Vesco simply disappeared. He fled the U.S. with millions in cash, gold, and bearer bonds. From Costa Rica to the Bahamas to Cuba, Vesco lived like a king, building mansions, bribing officials, and evading extradition at every turn. At one point, he offered a $250,000 bribe to free one of his associates, paid not in cash, but in stock of a fake company. Even in exile, his scams evolved. For over 30 years, governments, journalists, and bounty hunters searched for him. But Vesco always stayed one step ahead. Vesco's survival wasn't luck, it was logistics. He cultivated relationships with world leaders like Costa Rican President José Figueres Ferrer and even found refuge in Fidel Castro's Cuba. His financial empire became so entangled with global politics that no one dared touch him. Every government that sheltered him gained something: money, favors, or silence. It's rumored that he helped fund covert operations and intelligence channels during the Cold War. Whether true or not, it made him untouchable. By the 1990s, Vesco was a ghost. Reports surfaced that he'd been jailed briefly in Cuba for a scam involving Cuban biotech deals, but then he vanished again. Some say he died in 2007 of lung cancer. Others believe he faked his death and escaped one last time, perhaps to Europe or Central America, where an old man with Vesco's grin still walks free. Robert Vesco proved that with enough cunning, charm, and connections, you could outwit an entire global system. But here's the haunting question. If a man could steal $500 billion and get away with it 50 years ago, what makes you think it couldn't happen again right now?